The career of this musician spans 3 decades, during which time he has performed with the Five Stairsteps, the original family of soul music, while establishing himself as a leading session musician, and is widely considered to be the most sampled artist. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Keni Burke. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born on September 28, 1953 in Chicago, Illinois at the time, he was a member of his family band of Five Stairsteps, where he played bass, and he experienced his first taste of fame in the world of music while he was in his teens. The group's most well-known song was Untold, which sold millions of copies in 1970. Due to the impressive 5-year chart run, the Chicago-based family group was called the first family of soul, in which the Jackson 5 eventually adopted this moniker. Originally a teenage vocal group consisting of Betty and Clarence Burke's children, the Five Stairsteps named by Mrs. Burke because she believed her children resembled stairsteps when arranged by age included lead singer Clarence Jr., Lord, James, Dennis, and 13-year-old Kenneth. The majority of the group went to Harlan High School. Clarence Sr. was a loving and disciplined father who worked as a detective for the Chicago Police Department. Similar to the father of Jackson 5, Joe Jackson, Papa Burke, as he was known, was passionate about music and developed his kids into a gifted singing and dancing group. He co-wrote songs with Clarence Jr. and Gregory Fowler, managed the group and provided bass guitar backing. The Five Stairsteps were inundated with offers of recording contracts after taking first place in a talent competition held at the Store of Regal Theater. Curtis Mayfield was first introduced to the group by Fred Cash of them Impressions, a close neighbor and family friend. They were signed to Mayfield's Windy City label. Their debut record was The Lament, You Waited Too Long. Written by Burks, accompanied by the lively Mayfield song, Don't Waste Your Time.
If I'm losing you, so don't change your love.
The hits continued after the double-sided success in Chicago. You Waited Too Long peaked at number 16 R&B in the spring of 1966. In late 1967, Cameo Parkway went out of business. Clarence Jr. recorded and produced the group's second album, Family Portrait, in Chicago, which included a montage of Burke family images. The group changed its name to the Five Stairsteps and QB after their 3-year-old brother joined. Two successful singles from this album were Something's Missing
I try so hard to detect the reason.
and A Million to One.
We're too young to know the meaning.
The band was once again called the Five Stairsteps when they signed with Buddha Records. Ooh Child,
Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun.
the group's only certified million seller and biggest pop song, peaked at number 8 on the charts and number 14 in R&B in the spring of 1970. Conversely, a cover of Dear Prudence by Lennon and McCartney peaked at number 49 on the R&B charts. The group made a comeback the following year as the Stairsteps thanks to 2 charting Buddha singles, I Love You Stop.
So he had my bags all packed. That all lies behind us now. He says he wants me.
And Then It Looks So Easy. The group had appearances on the New York produced, nationally syndicated show Soul, as well as the 1970 documentary Soul to Soul, which followed a benefit concert at Yankee Stadium in New York. In the early 70s, Sister Elohim married and both she and QB left the group, which now billed themselves as the Stairsteps. Billy Preston introduced the Stairsteps to the Beatles, and the group signed with George Harrison's Dark Horse label distributed by A&M Records. The Stairsteps created the album's second resurrection, which was released in February 1976. Clarence Jr. and Kenneth Burke wrote, "From Us to You." The group's biggest hit since Ooh Child, which peaked at number 10 on the R&B charts in early 1976. The follow-up song, Pasado, got exposure in Chicago, New York, and other cities. Kenneth performed, played bass, and composed both songs from the third single, Tell Me Why. You said that I was the only one. Back with Salam. After the Stairsteps split up, Kenneth continued to work with Dark Horse as a solo artist. His self-produced debut solo album, Keni Burke, was released in August 1977. The singles were Keep On Singing and The Brassy Shuffle. There's no time to waste. If your friends don't get it, I hope you sure will. By this time in his career, he became a high-end demand session bass player. He could be heard on everyone from Sly and the Family Stone, Natalie Cole, Billy Preston, Les McCann, The Emotions, and the Four Tops, to Redman, Terry Callier, Stargard, Curtis Mayfield, Bill Withers, DJ Rogers, Linda Clifford, Silk, Narada Michael Walden, Ramsey Lewis, Dusty Springfield, Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, and Larry John McNally. In 1981, Burke signed a new solo record deal with RCA Records. The self-produced album, You're the Best, featured the songs Let Somebody Love You, and the title tune, You're the Best. Both became post-release 12 collectibles. His following RCA album, Changes, produced his biggest solo hit, Rising to the Top. You don't stop achieving, yeah. Peaked at number 63 on the R&B charts in late summer 1982. It was a massive hit in his hometown of Chicago and has been copied several times by hip-hop and urban musicians. First, Doug E. Fresh Keep Rising to the Top, followed by Mary J. Blige, Love No Limit. DJs and dance and funk music aficionados are hunting secondhand record bands for the pumping. Shakin', the second Changes single. Changes is particularly significant for featuring one of the final songs by Philadelphia songwriter Linda Creed, co-written with Tom Bell. The mid-tempo ballad 1 Minute More Burke has written and produced for the OJs, the Jones Girls, the Whispers, the Whitehead Brothers, Keith Sweat, George Howard, Peabo Bryson, and Bill Withers. Among others, Burke signed with the Sony Distributed UK label after meeting Expansion Records' Ralph T at a Berwick Soul Weekender. Nothing But Love was his debut album with the company, released in March 1998. The first 12 single, I Need Your Love, included vocals by Burke's son Osage Burke, but the flip side, the soothing indigenous love, was a smash with the Steppers audience. Rising to the Top was featured on the soundtrack for the video game Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, as well as the fictitious radio station's Vice City for Lovers in 2006. The National Rhythm and Blues Music Society presented Burke with a Lifetime Achievement Award on April 3rd, 2022. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Keni Burke?